What's up, Scyushi Squad? My name's Scyushi, and we are back again for another Q&A. Yes, that's right. These are slowly becoming an annual thing. Generally speaking, I like doing these Q&A videos because they're very relaxed, and I get to kind of see where you guys are sitting in the community in terms of your questions for me, and then it lets you guys know a little bit more about who I am, because I know that we're constantly getting new people coming to the channel and stuff. Now, the thing is, with a Q&A being what type of video it is, that's why we don't really do these too often, because what are we gonna do, like a Q&A every week? It would just kind of wear out its welcome right away. But I had planned on doing my response video to you guys like last week, but I ended up getting pretty sick just out of nowhere. I'm feeling fine now, but I still got a little bit of a tickle and still got some congestion and stuff, so I just took some medicine and we're just gonna go right to it. So first we got Slololowick. I probably butchered that name, but he's saying, what's your goal for this year in 2022? Generally speaking, the biggest goals for me this year is Mariko and I are going to be moving into our own condo in August, because it's actually being built right now from the ground up. So assuming that there's no delay in the construction, we're going to end up moving in August, and then we're also going to be getting married in October. So those are definitely going to be the biggest goals for me, and as of right now there is still a lot going on in the back of my mind in terms of planning, and a lot of stuff that just is a slow build up over time. I feel like I'm probably gonna be stressed out beyond belief when we're closer to the date, especially because we're moving and then we've got our wedding so close to one another. Also assuming that the condo is going to end up getting delayed because of construction, it means that there is a potential of us moving a lot closer to our wedding, which means there's just gonna be a lot of stuff to handle. Now, as far as how that's going to end up affecting the channel, generally speaking, I think that the condo is going to end up being a huge change for me, and just the channel in general will probably end up becoming a lot more consistent. One of the things that's always happened in my life is I've never really had like a normal 9-to-5 schedule, and a lot of that has to do with just the type of person that I am. Sometimes I like being up in the middle of the night. I find that I can stay up a lot longer if I wake up at night versus the day, and generally speaking, my mind can be a lot more focused because there's a lot less distractions. The other thing too is that Mariko and I don't live alone, and a lot of noise can happen during the daytime because we're sharing the house with other people, and so that will more than likely end up changing a lot when we got our condo, and then I could just essentially stream or record whenever the heck I felt like it, which is going to be awesome, and hopefully means that I can get some more stability in my work schedule. I'm hoping that I can actually start scheduling streams for specific times so that more of you know when the stream is and when you can come out to it, and a lot of that I feel is going to end up happening when I can consistently record or stream whenever I want. Crip asks, how have you enjoyed being a content creator of all the years you've done it? Has it been worth it, and do you enjoy making videos over streaming? So that's actually a couple questions, so I'll kind of answer those in order. So the first question being, have I enjoyed being a content creator? Hell yeah, dude. Like, this is my dream job. The fact that I can not only play video games for a living, but also deliver my personality to you guys, and that's like what I'm getting paid for, is just like, hell yeah, dude. Like, you know, no complaints there. I mean, there are complaints about the YouTube side of things, but as far as being a content creator is concerned, I would never change it for anything else in the world. Like, the funny thing is that I was actually just having a conversation kind of related to this with Mariko the other day, where I was feeling a little bit depressed because, generally speaking, what can end up happening with content creators is that there can be a lot of focus on the numbers, and I'm guilty of this too. It just naturally happens as you become a content creator, because more subscribers usually means more viewers, and more viewers directly influence your paycheck, and obviously paying the bills and everything like that. You know, it's something that I've always worried about because I come from poverty. You know, growing up, we didn't really have that much, but we made it work, and I now am an adult, and I'm trying to kind of overcome these issues, I guess, that I ended up having as a kid and carried into my adulthood. But anyways, the point is that I was telling Mariko how I was getting really down because I'm really worried about, like, am I working hard enough? Because this is one of the big things that happens as the views go down. You start to question your own self-worth and your own integrity. And in a lot of ways, I've noticed that I've made such a huge shift to streaming. And I know that streaming is just so easy for me to do, and I enjoy it so much that I kind of feel guilty that I'm not doing regularly recorded videos for you guys every day anymore. But the main point that I'm trying to get at is Mariko made a really good point to me, saying, yeah, but you're doing what you love and it's not about the money. And it was just a big, like, I don't know, it was just a big weight off my shoulders. Like, sometimes I need to be reminded of this, because it was like I started thinking, yeah, like, what would end up happening if I ended up having, like, an actual, like, more consistently paying job that didn't end up fluctuating based off of the views or time of month or whatever like that. So I would end up having the money, but then I would be miserable about the fact that I'm not on my own schedule and not doing something that I love. So it was like, that's the trade-off, and it just really helped me to see things more clearly and just start to be like, oh yeah, that's right, I gotta keep reminding myself I'm not doing it for the money. The money is a very fortunate side effect of doing content, but that's not why I started doing it. Now, the second question that Crip ended up asking is, do you enjoy making videos over streaming? And I'd say that personally, I actually enjoy streaming a lot more. I don't think that I'll ever end up stopping recording videos. Sometimes editing can just go on and on and on, and it's just like an endless thing, right? And excuse me. And because of it, I eventually end up getting tired of it, because I literally have like over 7,000 videos on this channel, including live streams, of course. But I know that like 4,000 or 5,000 of those videos are videos that were recorded and edited by me. And honestly speaking, while I do have a passion for like being a content creator, I noticed over the years that I don't really have as much of a passion for editing as I once thought. Like, I feel like whenever I'm doing like shorter, more goofy videos where I'm just kind of dicking around and having fun, those I have a lot of fun editing. Or like my Minecraft single player videos where I'm just getting alternate camera angles and I'm just screwing around, just doing things that I enjoy rather than trying to make the best video possible through editing. But that said, there is way more appeal to me to be able to just flick the switch, start streaming, and interact directly with you guys, because community is something that has always been very important to me, and being able to just see your guys' comments live and everything like that just makes it so much more authentic, you know? And then we can end up reacting together to something that's going on live rather than a pre-recorded video where I kind of am just sitting there myself. Not to say that I like one or the other more, but if I had to pick, I'd say streaming. I'm leaning a little bit more towards that. Anyways, let's move on. Nadahi, probably pronouncing that as wrong as well, but I love the Doge picture. What is it that keeps you going on this extremely competitive platform? In terms of what keeps me going, the short answer is you guys. Like, seriously, your supportive comments always help to pick me up when I'm feeling down. And when I see that you guys are talking about, you know, sometimes you message me in the DMs or the comments and stuff and are brave enough to say that you're going through some dark times and that the videos have helped you, and that's why I do it. That's literally why I do it, because that's why I got into doing YouTube in the first place, because other content creators ended up helping me through hard times. And it's just, the world sucks, man. So the fact that I can bring even a fraction of joy to some of your guys' lives is everything that I could ever ask for. Gumball says, I have nothing to ask, but I hope you have a great year, Scyushi. Thank you so much, man. Oxygen Heart is asking, do you still plan on playing Dragon and Home? No, I don't know. Like, the thing about Dragon and Home that I think anybody who's played it can tell, that the game is very janky, like just in terms of the combat and movement. It feels very stiff, right? So if they ended up making the combat a lot more fluent, I think I would have found a lot more appeal to it. But one of the big problems that ended up happening with Dragon and Home is that I kind of got stuck with the idea of progressing and completing quests, and the main quest has since locked me behind going into a dungeon with a full group, and the dungeons in the game are completely unbalanced garbage where you need to be like way more powerful than the dungeon itself in order to end up actually going through it, as I experienced in the first dungeon in the game. It's not like a cool area that you can just go and grind stuff, you know? And so the fact that the main quest had me locked behind that, I don't know. I just kind of lost all inspiration to end up playing the game. Sorry. So Voodoo is asking, how was 2020 or 2021 for you as a YouTube content creator and as a person? 2021 was actually a huge turning point for me, because if I'm being perfectly honest, coming out of 2020, I think that everybody was dealing with a lot of stress and just, you know, BS around that time because of the virus and pandemic and everything like that. But to me, I think what ended up hitting me the most was the fact that I was slowly becoming more and more distant with why I started doing YouTube in the first place. And in a lot of ways, I actually felt like I was forcing myself to deliver content rather than delivering content because I enjoy it. And there was there was a point where I was seriously considering just stopping doing YouTube. But that's where in 2021, I made the pivotal decision to start being way more honest with you guys, and most of all, started to make content that I was happy with rather than strictly making content you guys were happy with, you know? And through it, you know, we ended up losing a few people, obviously. I know that not everybody can end up watching like hour-long streams every single day, but streaming, I feel in a lot of ways was the biggest change for me, because it left a lot more time for me to just be myself and to be more organic in the way that I end up playing these games and grinding and stuff like that. And since that decision, I've become a lot happier with my content and with the channel. And the other big decision, as I mentioned previously with the whole numbers game with YouTube, was I've been making very strong conscious efforts to not worry about my paycheck. I don't want to worry about anything other than the fact that I'm able to pay the bills, so I should just be happy with that. Sure, my paycheck does fluctuate a lot, and it does still hit me pretty hard sometimes, just emotionally, you know, judging myself constantly. Am I working hard enough? Am I worthy? You know, all of this kind of generic psychological crap that I feel a lot of men end up going through. But that said, I'm very happy with where my content is, where my channel is, and the connection that I have with you guys was something that I really wanted to cultivate in 2021. And I feel like I've done that better than I have done in any of the years that I've done YouTube. How has YouTube affected your day-to-day life? Pros and cons? I don't really know if I can answer this one, just because I've been doing YouTube for such a long time that it's just like, I'm just used to it now, you know? Like, it's not something where I feel like I'm gaining as much experience, you know, or learning as much by doing it. Like, I'm constantly learning things, but now I'd feel that it's at a much slower rate than maybe when I was first starting out. I guess the pro would be the fact that I can sleep whenever I want, take days off whenever I want, because that was another big thing that I started doing in 2021 was if I needed a day to myself, I just take the day knowing that I'll end up having a better video the day after. Cute Venom asks, in the future when possible, would you make any more big trips like the one you did to Japan? If so, where would you like to go, and would you do a vlog about it again? Much love, Scythe. Thank you very much, Venom. So speaking of, this kind of goes in tandem with everything that I keep mentioning about my income. I frankly speaking am not like some big time YouTuber or anything. Like, I'm making a full-time living from YouTube, and that's, you know, that's perfectly content with me. But if I was to say that my ideal life is, I would like to get a little bit more and maybe be a bigger channel, because then I wouldn't have to worry about costs of such things. So speaking of which, trips are something that we can't take very often. That's why more, you know, more of my vlogs rather than not are Mariko and I just taking a day trip or two over in Vancouver. Not to mention, you know, with the pandemic and everything being what it is, it's really difficult to travel, and Japan itself is very, very much being affected by the COVID pandemic and everything, so it's really difficult to travel there. Now that said, yeah, I would love to end up getting some traveling done. For me, I'm a very at-home type of person. Like I could not go out and I'm perfectly satisfied with that, but Mariko really likes going out on adventures and stuff, and I love being a part of that as well. The Japan trip was just phenomenal for me because I'd always wanted to go to Japan. It's just that seeing Mariko's family and everything was kind of the excuse. And if we can not only afford it on top of our condo and wedding this year, we would love to go to Japan and actually have another ceremony of us getting married there for her family. And I think that would be awesome, dude. And whether or not we would vlog it, hell yeah, we would vlog it, dude. Like I would vlog a lot more often for you guys, but frankly speaking, I'm just at home doing nothing all day. So what's the point? Booming Blaze says, what games are you looking forward to in 2022? Elden Ring. Nothing but Elden Ring. No, I've actually got a pretty big list of games that I'm watching for 2022. In fact, it's kind of one of those things where there's so many good games coming out this year that I'm looking with my eyes and thinking with my stomach rather than my brain, you know, because it's like there's so many games that I would love to play on the channel, but logically, I just don't think that I would ever end up getting to all of them. So let's see if I can end up coming up with the titles off the top of my head. So in February, we've got Dying Light 2, which I'm definitely going to play that game on the channel and stream that. Then there's also Hitman 3. The VR portion of the game is coming to PC. It was normally a PlayStation exclusive, so I would love to stream that maybe once or twice, maybe not necessarily a full series or anything, but we'll see how it works. That's actually coming out in a couple days, like January 20th or something. I'm not interested in that new Pokemon game. The more I see it, it just doesn't really interest me. But what the heck is it called? Horizon Forbidden West or whatever, the new one coming out. I'm really interested in playing that game because it looks so cool and looks like it's just kind of a knockoff Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild is amazing. But we've got Elden Ring coming so close to the release of it that I don't know, like I might skip over Horizon just because of the fact that I don't know if I want to end up playing two open world games right back to back, and the Horizon game I'm sure is going to be really, really long, so chances are I would be not even like maybe halfway through the game by the time Elden Ring came out, and I honestly speaking don't really want another game to eat up the time that I could be spending playing Elden Ring. Then there's the new Kirby game in March, which I'm excited for that one. Breath of the Wild 2, obviously I'm gonna grab that. I might pick up Stalker 2, we'll see. I'm not 100% sold on that one. So now I'm actually going through a list of games that are supposed to be coming out this year because frankly speaking I forget what most of them are. Oh, the new Vampire Masquerade game I guess is supposed to come out, so I might play that one. I might play Forspoken, but I'm not super hyped about it. I don't care about Saints Row. Starfield apparently is coming out, which maybe I'll play that one. I don't know. I think Halo Infinite's getting the co-op added to the campaign in May, so I may end up playing that with a couple of my buddies just because it's always on Xbox Game Pass. Oh, and then God of War Ragnarok for sure. Yeah. Have you ever think of quitting YouTube? Love your content, says Senpai Supremo. I mean, I kind of ended up answering this question before, so we'll move on. Dozzy says, why do you still no-show hair? Because I don't have any? No, it was a conscious decision to go bald, and frankly speaking, I would never change it. Like, bald living is stupendous because I'm the type of person where I love efficiency, and having hair was inefficient. I know that that sounds really nerdy and stupid, but generally speaking, I really like being bald. I've kind of accepted it as my characteristic. Being bald also means that if you are riding a bicycle, you're more aerodynamic. So I'm actually way faster than you guys when I'm on a bicycle or just running or swimming, and just day-to-day life, I'm like way faster than the average person. Are you enjoying 2022 yet? It just started, so yeah, no. Yeah, it's fine, sure. Just give me Elden Ring. What do you think will be Trove's next big thing? Says Super Orange Mario. Honestly, I don't know. I really wish that Trove would have a roadmap because I honestly have no idea what their next thing is gonna be. Frankly speaking, I would like it if they would just focus on making new classes and add new biomes, dude. And not to mention just add like U10 and U10 to all the different biomes, and then also just make it go up to U15 difficulty or something like that, just because now that we've got the crystal rings, U10 is just way too weak. What's your favorite game character of all time, says Phantom? Ugh. My favorite game character? Oh, that's such a tough one, dude. It would either be Sam. Okay, so here's some of my top characters. Samus, Mario, Ridley, Sephiroth from Final Fantasy, Link, and Zelda. But if I had to pick, it would probably be like Skull Kid or Majora's Mask, that character. That's probably why it's the only video game character that I have tattooed on me right now. But up next, I would really like to get like a Metroid tattoo on my arm. I don't know when I'm going to end up finding time to get another tattoo. It's very expensive and very time consuming. Syph says, I'm trying to buy a VR headset and I would like to know what you have and what you recommend me getting. So the funny thing is, I think Syph already commented during one of my live streams and said that he has his VR headset, so it's kind of irrelevant for me to talk about this. But in case any of you guys are ever looking at a VR headset, honestly, I would say get the Oculus Quest. That headset sucks as a content creator because it's very difficult to record it. But as far as a VR headset is concerned, it is extremely user-friendly. You don't even have to have a computer in order to end up getting the Oculus Quest 2 headset. It's basically like buying a console because everything is within the headset. You can of course end up plugging it into your computer, and that's how you can end up playing Steam VR games. But you can also, it's got the portability. Like I could literally just take the Oculus headset to a friend's house, nothing else, and then we would be able to play VR games. It's really convenient and crazy. Nice Day says, how are you? I'm doing good. How are you? Any advice on growing a YouTube channel? I currently make mostly Minecraft videos and I have over 1K subscribers. I mean, don't ask me, dude. Like I haven't hit 200K subs for a couple years now, so. No, in all seriousness, dude, I think that too many people get obsessed with the idea of being a big channel right away. And frankly speaking, I would say don't focus on that. The people will come so long as you are just being yourself and just being honest and just being committed. What's your favorite food? Sushi. Sushi and ramen and Japanese food would probably end up being my all-time favorites, but it depends on my mood. You know, sometimes I'm in the mood for fast food, sometimes I'm in the mood for pizza. What's your favorite game? I mean, frankly speaking, that's just constantly changing, right? But I did already have a video that talked about like the games that ended up influencing my life, and I would say that those games in a lot of ways are kind of my, I guess, all-time favorites, I suppose. But generally speaking, I like a lot of games like GTA was one of my favorites. Grand Theft Auto 5 in particular, one of my favorite games just because it's so freaking good. It's very dated now though, right? Like I would never say it's my favorite anymore. But I guess it really depends on the genre, right? Like I'd say Zelda Breath of the Wild is my favorite open world game for single player adventure. And I think Dark Souls 3 is actually one of my favorite games because I hadn't played through Dark Souls 3 until like maybe a year or two ago. So I got into it really, really late comparatively, and I loved it. So I think Elden Ring is probably going to end up being my favorite game. Hey, why are we still here? Just to suffer, my dude. Why did you begin YouTube? I mean, I kind of answered this in earlier questions where I most of all, you know, wanted to do YouTube because I wanted to share a positive energy with people. But generally speaking, I was always watching other content creators and always kind of, I guess, commentating to myself and thinking to myself like, oh, I would have done this, or I would have said this joke or whatever, you know. And then one day it just kind of hit me where it was like, wait, why am I even talking about this? Why don't I just do it? You know, that was the biggest thing that I think bothered me about a lot of other content creators and about a lot of the clickbait out there, is that a lot of other content creators either feel like they're faking enthusiasm or something like that, which I get it. You know, it's because that content is generally designed for kids, because that's a lot of views, right? But I don't know. I always wanted to end up being real with you guys. And I think that I'm generally probably one of the most real content creators that there is, where I'm very honest with you guys, sometimes a bit too honest, where I should shut up and stop talking. But whatever, man, it's just a roller coaster of emotion, and I'm just a normal human being, and I just love video games, and we're kind of sharing that bond together. So yeah. Will you have new contents in 2022? This is new content. What? Yes, sure. When's your birthday? My birthday is March 7th. Krishy's saying, could you do a VR FNAF series? I've thought about it. The funny thing is that the VR FNAF game is kind of more like just a mini game barrage rather than something you could end up making a full playthrough on. If I was more interested in one of the FNAF games, I would actually say it would probably either be the VR one or the most recent one. I'm not gonna say no, because Halloween, maybe I could end up doing that, but generally speaking, I don't really plan to, sorry. And then here's the last comment that we got. Die, fish. Ah, yes. Die, fish. You guys remember that? And then start, and then saying, how much money have you given to Mihihi? I assume they mean Mihoyo, which is Genshin Impact, which is none of your goddamn business. I have easily, I've easily spent over $3,000 on Genshin. To go to one of the earlier questions talking about like a New Year's resolution or what is my plans for 2022, not spending that much money on Genshin ever again. But yeah, that pretty much covers it. So hopefully you guys ended up finding this video entertaining or helpful or whatever. I don't know. It's gonna be a pretty lengthy one for me to end up chopping down, but I'll try to end up getting the length down as much as I can. I did want to end up giving you guys more honest answers rather than just a quick to the point thing, because I feel like that's kind of the purpose of these types of videos, is you guys want me to share you know, my thoughts rather than it being something that's more condensed and trying to get to the point and be quick about it, right? So with that said, here's to 2022. Hopefully this year is a good one, not only for my channel growth, but also for you guys in general. I am eating a cough candy right now. It's terrible. Anyways, as always, smash like, sub for more, buy the merch you want to support the channel. You can always become a member of the channel to see stuff early as well. But otherwise, sayonara and stay epic, gamers.